What's up, y'all? It's Dr. Paul here with a really special book today. This book doesn't belong to me. This belongs to my friend of the channel, TJ. TJ and I started corresponding on Instagram a few months back, and TJ won our 100 subscriber giveaway for the channel, and the prize was that I would clean and press a book for somebody for free, sub it to CGC on their behalf if they want. And so we're going to do a short video series on this book. I was hoping to get a really cool book, and TJ delivered. So this book has a few problems that we can work on. And it's something that I think, anybody would love in their collection, so people will be excited to watch us work on it. So the first step in what we're going to do today is to just evaluate the book and come up with a game plan, an approach for, what we need to accomplish with it. So this is, of course, Marvel Premiere number 28. This is the first appearance of the Legion of Monsters. Obviously, this is a big speculation book. It's been hinted that the MCU is moving in this direction of sort of the horror genre. So folks are lining up to get high-grade copies of this. This is a very nice copy of the book, and there's some pressable defects and some cleanable defects that we're going to address. So first off, the book presents really well. The first thing that I notice is there's some color rub. This is basically an abrasion that's kind of from here in a line all the way down. It looks like right here we have possibly an accretion on the book, and we'll have to probably get a little bit of solvent into that to pick it up. There's also some color rub, some loss here, and a couple other places on the cover. So it's had a little bit of abrasion or rubbing on the cover. As we go sort of around the perimeter, one thing you notice is right here, there's a little bit of paper loss, but generally the cover is very nice. It's quite glossy. In terms of pressable defects, as opposed to things that we can address with cleaning, I will try to capture in the light. Right here, there's somewhat severe dent. I think we can take that out entirely. You see there are some spine ticks. There's one here. There's a bit of a scratch here. But overall, in terms of pressable defects, I think that this book is in great shape. We are going to be able to largely remove all of there's spine tick here and here. I'll try to get the light to show them off in their worst situation. Right there. And right there. So pressable defects wise, book's in pretty good shape. As we go through the book, we'll note that this abrasion here obviously transfers through the book, right? And what you have then is you get color rub on the inside. So this is ink transfer from here to here, and you've had it actually in both directions. Some of the ink from here has created a little bit of extra ink here, but mostly it transfers from the newsprint onto the cover, so you have it here. We can definitely address that. From this side, you can see where that loss of paper is a little bit more dramatically. The interior of the book looks pretty good. Pages are nice and supple. The color of the paper is might be off-white, but certainly isn't anything like tanning or degrading in any way other than what we would expect from a book of this era. This book will still grade, well, we can submit it to CGC as a modern because it has been published in 1975. So this is the oldest book essentially that you can submit to CGC still as under the modern tier. Here, when we get to the interior, we can see the staples in the centerfold are in pretty good shape. On the interior, we note that the staples are actually, they look good. These staples, they're manufactured from galvanized steel wire. And I'll go into a little bit more detail on that, the exact gauge and everything. But the color of the staple is the galvanizing with a little bit of patina on it. Okay, so these look good and natural and how we would like them to look, at least on the inside. Now, TJ told me that he has some concerns about how one of the staples presents on the outside, and we'll get back to that in a minute as we go through the book and get to the end of the book and the back cover. All right, so the interior of the back cover looks pretty good. Note again that we have some color here, red, that is either color rubbed from this, which this I think it is, or it's bleed through. It doesn't appear to be aligning with the red out here, so I think it's entirely color rubbed from this side. And we can try to lighten that up a little bit. There's also a bit of yellowing on the interior part of this page. Again, that may be from rub from here, ink transfer. I think we can probably lighten that up a bit, so we'll give that a try. There's a little corner bend here, which should be completely pressable, so I'm not too worried about that. The back cover has some general soiling. These Evel Knievel covers always do, because there's so much white background, but there's so much ink that as they rub against other copies of the book when they were stacked or when they were shipped, there's always a lot of cleaning to be done on these white covers. The way that these are shipped, they're usually stacked this way, so sometimes you can even see, like, say this really dark spot right here is going to line up with the next book over. So this is literally Man-Thing's sort of armpit from the book that was behind it, right? That spot right there. So we'll clean up this back. Some of it is soiling, some of it is ink transfer, but we'll clean up this back. And I think that this book is going to present really nicely. The last issue to discuss is this staple right here. And this is, as I mentioned, something that TJ was concerned about. It has a little bit of surface rust on it. And TJ wanted that addressed one way or the other. So we're going to have to take a closer look at that, and we'll make a determination what the best course of action for that staple is. The interior part of the staple is quite nice. So we do have options. We could replace it. We could replace it with a vintage staple of similar manufacturer. We could replace it with a staple that we make. We could remove it and clean it. Or ultimately, we might decide that it's better to leave it as it is. I don't think that's the case in this instance. But like, for example, if this book was maybe not quite as nice as it is, you might say, look, the book is already a 6. We're not going to get hit by the staple. That's not going to change the grade. And it's just very light surface rust. It's not migrating into the paper. In that instance, you might decide, let's leave it because it's not detracting, it's not deteriorating from the book, it's not changing the grade. And so that is something always you should consider. In this case, again, I don't think that's the case. It's too nice of a book to have a staple with this much surface rust. But that said, the interior of that staple looks quite nice. I think it's going to be easy to remove. What we'll have to decide is how best to replace it or clean it and put it back. So we'll discuss that in future videos. So today's video was really just to say congratulations to TJ and for me to communicate some of my excitement to work on this book, because TJ and I have been talking about it for months. And to sort of teach everybody how to do an assessment of the book and how to come up with a game plan. So game plan on this will be dry clean, wet clean where necessary, exterior cover, interior cover, potentially, maybe, we'll see, depends on how dry cleaning goes, photo bleaching on the interior covers only. I think it would benefit. I don't think the exterior covers need it. Maybe a little bit on this back cover, but I think photo bleaching will help us definitely decrease some of the yellowing and some of the color on this side, on this back cover in particular. And then we'll address the staple, and then we'll do a final press on it. So that's the game plan. We'll do a series of videos, and until then, I hope you enjoy the hunt. I hope you have treasures like this in your PC, and as always, take care of one another.